Y'all know the name.
What's going on, guys? My name is Martinho and welcome back to Football Manager 2017. So, at the end of our previous episode, we picked up a very, very welcome late Christmas present with a Boxing Day win over Bournemouth at Ellen Road. And I was hoping that that would kind of kick us on. We haven't had a brilliant festive period. We've just been up and down lately in the league with regards to form. You know, we draw, we win, we lose, then we draw, win, lose, draw, win. It's just, we can't really get any consistency, and we haven't had any consistency since the very start of the season when we had a very good run of 4 straight wins in the league, I think it was. So yeah, there's quite a bit to get through today, so we're going to start off with the highlights of a couple of the games that happened, the league games that happened anyway, which was away to Leicester City and away to Manchester City. And we start off with our trip to the King Power Stadium to face former champions Leicester City, and what was a little bit of a homecoming for me. As I probably mentioned before, I am from Leicester. I was born in Leicester, but I've always been a Leeds United fan, and I was hoping that we can get a good result here to really stick it to them a little bit. And it seemed like it was going to go that way because we had the better of the opening exchanges, and with half an hour gone, Kemar Roof and Jordan Larsson linked up well once again, with Larsson bagging what I think was his 11th league goal of the season to put us 1-0 up. But that seemed to spark Leicester City into life a little bit, and they were knocking on the door for the last quarter of an hour of the half, and I was praying that we could just make it to half time with our 1-goal lead intact. However, the football gods decided to forsake me, and Slimani slipped away from Pontus Jansson and bagged the equaliser with pretty much the last kick of the game via a corner from Mark Albrighton. And in the second half, things just went from bad to worse, as within 5 minutes, our defensive shape was just torn apart when Berardi decided to just, like a crazed toddler, go and chase something down that he seemingly wanted, which was the football in this case. And then that left a massive gap in behind him, which Albrighton exploited. His cross met by Slimani in the middle, and it was 2-1. And though we did have a couple of good chances and we did have the majority of the possession throughout the second half, we just couldn't break them down, which meant we were consigned to a 2-1 defeat and a very, very disappointing homecoming for myself. Following that, though, we made the short trip across the Pennines to go and face Manchester City at the City of Manchester Stadium. And this one was a case of I was hoping for a result rather than expecting one. And that proved to kind of be well founded, as after 9 minutes, Nicolas Otamendi opened the scoring with his first goal of the season. And it was, I was thinking, oh god, here we go, it's going to be one of those, we're going to get absolutely hammered here. And we didn't help ourselves. David Faraoni especially didn't help us when he pushed Nolito in the box, leaving the referee no other option but to point to the spot. Sergio Aguero stepped up to take it, and Silvestri made a very, very good save actually, which I was kind of surprised with. I was expecting it to be 2-0 at that point. But it was kind of delaying the inevitable, as 5 minutes into the second half, Gabriel Jesus popped up with the second to make it 2-0, and like I said, we just really couldn't get out of our own box, our own area, our own half or whatever. And like I said, it was more a case that I was hoping for a result here rather than expecting one, so I wasn't too harsh on the team for that. But it's disappointing nonetheless, and we fell to a 2-1 defeat. What that did for the league, though, is, well, basically nothing, really. We stay in 9th position on 30 points. However, the little gap we had to the teams behind, such as Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle and Watford and so on, that very quickly evaporated with back-to-back defeats. So it's now a point where if we, say, lose our next league game, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle and Watford win, they could leapfrog us. It would take quite a big swing for Watford to leapfrog us, actually, but you know what I mean. So we're kind of on the cusp at the moment. One good burst of form could see us pull away from any potential relegation scraps or whatever. But if the bad run of form continues, we could find ourselves getting dragged right the way down there. Even though QPR are 11 points behind us, you never know. And we've still got quite a way in the season left to go. Next up though, we had a little bit of welcome respite from our troubles in the league with our FA Cup third round tie at home to Blackburn Rovers. And we didn't make a very good start actually. Blackburn were the better side for the majority of the opening half hour. And they came very, very close to opening the scoring as Danny Graham actually hit the post, which had my nerves jangling a little bit and had me questioning some of my team selection. But we did improve in the second half, though it did take a couple of changes to elicit the actual response I was looking for. It didn't take long once I did make those changes. Jordan Larson, a couple of minutes after stepping off the bench to replace Kuki, bagged the opening goal with 20 minutes left to go. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing as Diego Poyet, for a very, very unwarranted and stupid tackle, got himself sent off, which left us with 8 minutes left to play, a man down. No complaints really, it was a horrible tackle and he deserved to walk. But thankfully, in front of the home crowd, we didn't disappoint, and Kyle Bartley, even though he was carrying a stubbed toe, managed to pop up with 4 minutes of the game remaining to bag his first goal of the season and secure our spot in the fourth round of the FA Cup. And in the fourth round, we got another home tie, thankfully, and this time it was against further championship opposition in the shape of Fulham. So that game will come just after the second leg of our League Cup semi-final against Spurs. It probably won't be a live-com game because it's not that big, to be honest with you. It's just the FA Cup. But home against the championship side, hopefully we can put on a good display and secure our passage into the fifth round, which was my goal at the start of the season. But now there's a little bit of other news to go through, and we're going to start off with these guys, Chelsea. They have sacked Antonio Conte, and it's not surprising given that they're sitting in 8th position and they must have spent, I don't know how much they spent. Let's see how much they spent. He spent 85 million and they're sitting in 8th. So yeah, and I'm sitting in 9th and I spent what, 10 million, maybe less, 11 perhaps, blah blah blah. The other team to part company with their manager was West Brom. Tony Pulis got his marching orders, so they are on the hunt for a new boss. They haven't come to me asking if I wanted to come for an interview yet, and I bloody hope they don't, because I'll tell them where to go. But now we also move on to a bit of transfer news, and we've had one player leave. So Union O'Kane, who has been in the reserve side, the under-23 side all season. Nottingham Forest came in for him, 190,000, rising to 245,000. He didn't have long left to run his contract, so I just accepted it. Get his 15 grand a week off the wage bill, and that'll be that. But there may be some incomings for ourselves, as I'm making a move for Nemanja Maksimovic again. I tried to get him in the summer and I couldn't get a work permit. However, he has played 3 or 4 games for Serbia, I think it is. So there's a possibility he might get a work permit, and he does look very good for 22, and there's still room for improvement. Passing could use a bit of improvement, but free kicks, wow. He'll definitely be taking the free kicks. Good determination, flair, off the ball movement, teamwork. Corners are also very good. Good natural fitness. So yeah, there's still quite a bit of improvement that could happen, but for 1.1 million I can't really say no, and he's very interested in coming to ourselves. He rejected an offer from Beijing and came to, and we're basically now just waiting for a work permit to come through, and hopefully it does this time. The other offer on the table is for this guy who popped up in my news feed as being placed on the transfer list for a very small amount of money, only 1.8 million. So I've put in an offer for him and we're kind of negotiating. He's already rejected an offer from Stoke, so it's just down to ourselves and Sampdoria. I do think we need a little bit better in the centre of defence. Belushi's not really worked out how I would have liked, so the likelihood is that he's going to be departing at possibly January, but more than likely the end of the season. So this guy comes in, great determination, amazing marking, great tackling, okay pace as well and strength. So yeah, if we can get this guy in, I'd be laughing for such a small fee, but his wages are about 60 grand a week, so he'll be very much the highest paid player in the team, so we might have to make some changes in relation to that. So the last little piece of news before we jump into today's live-com game is that Kemar Roof won the Player of the Month award for December. That came via 6 appearances and 6 goals. 7.90 average rating. He's been very, very good. A little bit up and down. He'll have a good game, he'll have a bad game, but it was good enough to win the Barclays Player of the Month award for December. And he was also joined by Jordan Larson, who picked up his second Young Player of the Month award. His other one coming in October, and he just beat out Kylian Mbappe, who, I don't know, I didn't think he had an overly spectacular December, in all honesty. He got a goal in 7.40 average rating, I suppose, but yeah, it could definitely be coming down to two Leeds lads and two Man United lads, actually, with Jordan Larson, Kylian Mbappe going up against Martial and Rashford when it comes to the end of season Young Player of the Year award. But now on to today's live com game, which is our absolutely massive League Cup semi-final first leg at home to Tottenham Hotspur. As you can see, the bookies don't rate our chances with odds of 11-5 and Spurs being given as evens favourites. So yeah, hopefully we can pull out a performance like we did at Wembley against Spurs in the league, because we played very well that time. We were a little bit lax defensively, but we gave them a good run for our money. And being at home this time, hopefully the home crowd will be behind us. We'll have a big crowd, and that will spur us on to get a good result. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to jump into the game, and I will see you over there. So here we are, and here are the teams. So Marco Silvestri starts in goal, David Faraoni at right back, Xavi at left back, with Pontus Jansson and Carl Bartley in the centre of defence. Then we've got the usual suspects of Kylian Mbappe and Lewis Schaub on the right and left, with Hurry Hain being partnered in the centre of midfield by Ronaldo Vieira. And up front it's Kemar Roofe and Jordan Larson. For Spurs, Vorm in goal, Trippier, Wimmer, Vertonghen, Ben Davis, Ben Taleb, Dembele, Suso, Ali, Song Hyung Min, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Sado Berahino. So yeah, I think they've named a slightly weaker 11 than I thought they were going to. So hopefully they're underestimating us, and hopefully this gives us a chance to maybe get a good result. So no more talking. More talking's to come, but let's just get the game going, shall we? So here we are then, and it's us to get us kicked off for a massive game in front of a packed house in Ellen Road. So first proper highlight, Suso with a corner. It goes up and Bartley's given a penalty away. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh, you know, you just have to have one of those nights. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be today. Unless Marco Silvestri can save a penalty like he did against Sergio Aguero a couple of games ago. It's going to be Berahino to take it. Silvestri, and he saved it. Come on. See, that's the sort of thing that could possibly drive us on. Unless someone gives a penalty away again. Vieira clears it. So another highlight with 7 minutes gone. Faraoni with a throw. Goes to Vieira, who comes inside to Hurry Hain. Here's Kemar Roofe to Schaub. Looking for a bit of support. Has to go back to Hurry Hain to find it. Here's Schaub again. Roofe. And he loses out to Wimmer. Yeah, disappointed. We should have done better there. And now Spurs are going to have a go at trying to break us down. Again, here's Suso. With a shot. Ooh, and it's just over. Did that clip the crossbar? So another highlight with 20 minutes gone. Hurry Hain makes a good tackle on Dele Alli. And now Kemar Roofe can drive at the Spurs backline. He's got support, but he's wasted it. Disappointing. So it's another corner with the half grinding slowly to an end. And oh, we've given another fucking penalty away. I can't fucking believe this. Ronaldo Vieira this time giving a penalty away, and it's just, like I say, it's just going to be one of those days, isn't it? I mean, you do it once and you get away with it. You can fucking learn the lesson. But evidently we're not in the business of learning lessons, as Song Min-hyun is going to take it, and Silvestri saves another one. It comes back in, and Jansson gets a head up. Ben Taleb goes to Dembele with a shot, and it's blocked. And again, we just about survive. And we've got a chance to break now with Kemar Roofe. And Larson, oh God, why did you do that? Just take it on your foot and use the space in front of you. And there's half time. So I'm disappointed we're giving penalties away and just giving them opportunities to score against us. But Silvestri's been a fucking man mountain today, hasn't he? That's the third penalty in 3 games that he's saved. and 2 tonight. That's brilliant. It is. And if Pau Lopez comes asking for first team football again, I'm going to say, well, you know, there you go. There's a videotape over there. That's why you're not getting first team football, because he does that shit. Okay, so it was you know, bit of an annoying first half. We had chances to go forward, but then when we got to the final third, we wasted them by, you know, either shooting from distance or making the wrong decision. So we've got to, when we get a chance, we've got to take it, because I don't think many are going to come when we go back to Wembley for the second leg. So just got time to keep going. And why are people switching off? So come on, we just got to get them to come on. No, just passionately. So you look to switch off. Why, Carl Bartley? Why are you switching off? Eh? Why are you switching off as well? Especially you, Bartley, after you give a penalty away. Second half. I wish I could bet on Football Manager, because I'd put £5 on now that we're going to give another penalty away at some point. We've got 5 minutes of the half gone, and our first proper highlight, it seems. So here's Hurricane on a booking to Vieira. Vieira with a shot, and he's hit the post. And Wimmer scrambles it clear. That was a big opportunity. And here's another opportunity for ourselves now. So Larson goes to Faraoni. Can he get a cross in? No, he goes out to the centre to Hurricane. Here's Vieira again. Mbappe with a shot. And it's there. We've taken the lead. Come on. 10 minutes of the half gone. Kylian Mbappe with an absolute thunderbolt to put us 1-0 up and give us a sniff of a cup final day out at Wembley. So Vieira finds Mbappe. Nice touch. Gets it out of his feet and just bangs it. Keeper maybe a bit unsighted. He got a touch to it, but it wasn't enough. Leeds 1, Spurs 0. And we're up and running as the snow starts to fall. Well, it looked like snow. It could be rain. I don't know. But here we go again. So here's Larson. He's got support in the shape of Schaub. Can Schaub finish it? Oh, he toe poked it and Vorm saves. It's a corner. But we've definitely got our tails up now, so we've got to make this stick so we can go there and park the bus. Schaub with the corner in. And Vorm collects it. So we've got just under 25 minutes left to go, and there are a few tired legs out there. So I'm going to bring Hurricane off because he is on a yellow card. So I'm going to bring John Obi Mikel in to replace him, and I don't know. I've got Schaub in there, but I haven't really got anyone to bring on to replace him. I can put Alex Mart out there, but I don't know. I don't know if he's really suited to play in that particular role. I thought I might leave it until the last quarter of an hour to make another change, but at the moment, I think that one, tired legs, yellow card, it's not a good mix. So Hurricane is replaced by Johnny Mikel. We've got about between 25 and 20 minutes left to go. So here's the throw in to Spurs. Here's Son Min-hyun, and Vieira clears it. Schaub mops up. There's Vieira. Can we break now? Here's Mbappe with a lovely ball forward to Larson. Can he find a through ball to Roof? He can. Roof! And it's saved again by Vorm. Oh, we've had 3 really good chances that we haven't taken. I just hope that isn't going to come back to haunt us as Schaub whips the corner in and Vorm once again collects it. Okay, so we've got about a quarter of an hour left, and I am going to make another change. So Kemar Roof's not having a brilliant game, so I'm going to bring Chris Wood on, and I'm going to play him in, his favoured target man role. I'm going to play him as support, and again, there's more tired legs on there. I'm going to bring Schaub off, and he's going to be replaced by, I don't have to do Alex Moore or Stuart Dallas, but do Federico Di Marco, actually. Let me just see what his stats are like in that position. His crossing's good, his passing's good. You know, I'll bring Federico Di Marco on for Lewis Schaub, and he'll play there in the winger role. So Chris Wood on for Kemar Roof and Federico Di Marco in for Lewis Schaub with 15 minutes left to go. Okay, so it's a goal kick for Spurs, and Vorm lumps it upfield. Di Marco gets up well though. Here's Chris Wood. Looking for a bit of support. Here's Mikel now. Di Marco to Chris Wood. with a shot. Ooh, thought that was going in. Vorm got super glue in his hands, ref. That can't be allowed. Okay, so we've got about 6 minutes left to go. Vorm lumps it upfield. Mikel gets up well, but Ben Taleb beats Wood to it. Here's Weston to Son Heung-min, whatever his name is. Mikel makes a good tackle. Here's Chris Wood now. Can we break perhaps? Here's Larson. Mbappe. Got a bit of space to run down the right. Can he get a cross in? He can. Chris Wood. And it's DeMarco and it's 2-0. Come on. It's 2-0 now, and I can't say fairer really. We got a bit of luck there. Mbappe drives down the right, gets a cross in. Chris Wood shoots, it takes a big deflection off, I think it was Wimmer. And DeMarco's alive to the second ball and just hammers it in. Leeds 2, Spurs 0. And I'm sensing a final in our future. So we've got about 4 minutes left to go. Here's DeMarco again. With a long ball forward looking for Jordan Larson. He's found him. Larson's got a bit of space. And Vorm again makes a save. If it weren't for Vorm, I think this tie would have been put to bed already. It's going to be a corner now. Mbappe to take it. He goes towards near post. Larson gets up. Bartley! And it's 3-0. Come on. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Carl Bartley with his second goal of the season. Second in as many games as well. Mbappe with a corner. And Janssen gets up, just flicks it on. And Carl Bartley's at the back post unmarked. And just nods it in to a near enough empty net. Leeds 3, Spurs 0. And the dream lives. Okay, so we're just about at the end now. And we've now got a chance to break after the corner's cleared. Mbappe goes to Chris Wood. But it's cut out. And Janssen's going to get it. He goes back to Silvestri, who lumps it long. Wimmer gets up to win it though. It's been Taleb. Son Heung-min, whatever his name is. I don't know. Emperor Ming, we'll call him that, Emperor Ming. And Vieira makes a good tackle. Here's Jordan Larson with the ball over the top looking for Wood. And that's it, it's over. An absolutely massive win. 3-0 and possibly our best performance of the season. And Mbappe got man of the match, but I think it should have gone to Silvestri for saving 2 penalties. But everybody was brilliant today. Silvestri was fantastic. Bartley, Janssen were very good. Mbappe, Ronaldo Vieira had an absolute monstrous game. Larson, he had an okay performance, didn't he? And yeah, so 3-0. I was 1-0. I would have been happy with it. Gave us the platform, but this, we really now have a big chance to go to the final. As long as we don't go to Wembley, which is where Spurs are playing their home games, as long as we don't go there and shit the bed, we could be looking at a proper trip out to Wembley to face either Forest or Chelsea in the League Cup final at the back end of February. So let's just give them their praise. It's just, that was really special. It was. I wasn't expecting that. He was just absolutely insane. Those 2 penalties. I thought, oh, you know, we give away 2 penalties. How could we do this? How could we not learn the lesson from the first one? And each time he pulled our buns out of the fire just in the nick of time with 2 brilliant saves. So, yeah. 3-0. Wasn't expecting it. Didn't ask for it. Well, I was asking for it, kind of, but... So there we go. There we have it. 3-0. And, like I said, let's... Shall we just... we'll move ahead to what... We'll see what happens in the next game, because I don't think the Chelsea tie, the Chelsea-Forest tie is happening today. Oh, so we got a question here. Well, most convincing side does. Is it effectively over? I wouldn't say that. We have to guard against complacency in the second leg, which is true. We do, because there's a it was a weakened Spurs side, so there's a possibility they're going to come out all guns blazing with a full strength 11 just to stop themselves being absolutely embarrassed. But yeah, I'm going to jump ahead to the next day. I'm going to see what Chelsea and Forest do, and then we'll round out the episode. And the surprises just keep on coming as Chelsea were held to a 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge by Nottingham Forest. Laporta got the man of the match, and again it was a somewhat weakened 11, I'd say. You know, they had still had Eden Hazard, Nemanja Matic, Christensen, Laporte. But yeah, so that gives Nottingham Forest a very, very big chance of taking them back to the City Ground and potentially joining ourselves in the League Cup final in February. But that is the end of today's episode. Next time out, though, I don't think we can come back to anything other than this. I think you'd kill me if I didn't. So we're going to have highlights of Everton, Hull and Chelsea. And then our live com game will be the second leg of our League Cup semi-final against Spurs. This time we're going away from home. And hopefully we'll have something to celebrate come the end of it. But again, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's episode, then please go ahead and hit that like button. Any support you can give me is always appreciated. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more daily content just like this. If you're new to the series, there is a link in the description to the playlist, and you can watch the entire series from the very beginning. But again, thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, stay cool. And as always, I will catch you on the flip side, where we're one good result away from a League Cup final. Peace!